説明一緒にさせてもらっていいですか。
Okay, good morning. Good morning. We're like half the size. But yes, it's Monday, it's regular Monday, so I think it's okay. I mean, so, we were kind of expecting this because it's regular Monday. So today, it's the 7th day, so officially the end of the internet intensive workshop. So thank you for, staying with us for 7 days. And today it's it's wrong title, but it's a design process exercise. And like I announced to you yesterday, what we're going to do today is the actual exercise or combat exercise. So all you had until today is just, you practice some passing, shooting, dribbling, and you never played soccer, basically. Right? So today we ask you to play a game of soccer, which is, all I do is just blow a whistle. I don't tell you to do anything, I just blow whistles, okay? So that's going to be me today. But we're going to give you a lot of feedback, okay? We're going to give you a lot of feedback, and here's what we're going to do. I knew this today we're going to have a very small group, so we, like other instructors and myself, can join your team here and there, okay, during the design process. And I think doing it together is the only way you learn. So, and different instructors have different styles, all right? So this is the hardest part about this design process. So there is no single right way to do it, all right? So if you play sports, and all the baseball players throw the ball in different ways, right? But there are great pitchers out there. Some are left-handed, some are right-handed, some throw ball from the really high angle and low angle. But they're all great pitchers. So it's really like that. It's really like that. There is no best way to pitch. So maybe you need to find your style. But we can kind of show you how we do, each instructors do, and so that you can come maybe learn something about what we do. So before getting into today's things, just a quick reminder what you're going to be doing today. But I'm using the old slides because that's what you will be doing today. So what we ask you to do today is a new value creation. Okay, it's a short time, so don't get into like very little tiny details, but try to go through all the process and try to create a new value. So that's the mindset. And then innovativeness and entrepreneurship is a key. And these are the slide that I showed you yesterday as well. And this is a slide I showed you on the symposium, showing what each element, how they're connected. So innovativeness and new value creation is what you're aiming, and then human-centered insights. Okay, so this is another key for your work today. Try to find some human-centered insights. What human really value? Because if you are going if you're like putting effort on the wrong value, then you end up losing a lot of time and resource, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to find the right value that you want to step your gas pedal on. So human-centered insight really helps you to find that real right value. And then multiple viewpoints to design as a system. It helps you to not just look at your solution or possible solution from one perspective, but from different perspectives. Okay, so that's a multiple viewpoints. And prototyping testing to find true value. This is to find a true value that you really want to focus. Okay? Because you're an entrepreneur, you don't have much resource, you want to focus on the right value. Okay? And yesterday we talked about business synthesis, realizing managing the value chain in terms of economical viewpoint. So that's something we've done yesterday, and it's all uncertain, and it comes with the decision making. So this is what we've been doing so far. And today we are doing this, nonlinear and iterative. Okay, so just forget about the order that we've been tracking this, but it's there is no order. Sometimes it starts from the business synthesis. Maybe you have an idea of a value chain. You have a business model idea. Then you can start from there. That's okay. One day in the bathtub, you came up with crazy idea. You have no idea who's going to appreciate this, but you can start from there. That's fine. So today, I really want you to try to focus on iterative process, and iterative process is something I really want you to try to focus on. So, like I said yesterday, this is what you will be doing in the project-based learning. Okay, we have 9 boxes. These are like milestones, but not necessarily in this order. But for today, I'm making it to just 4 boxes. Very similar, okay? So this is what you will be doing today. So basic framework, problem definition, ideation, architecting, and business synthesis. Basically 4 things, okay? And of course, your, let me go, just skip a few things. Design process exercise is again, it's you doing the pen and paper or the laptop solution, okay? I've chosen this because now you know a little bit about how people work around the laptop, how pens are there and things like that. So I want you to kind of continue on, but with a new team, okay? With a new team. But this is something you're a little bit familiar already, so I just keep this assignment as it is. So it's still the same. He or she reads the article written in foreign language and blah blah blah. So you can imagine somebody like me, and then you can provide some kind of value, and it can be a value, the gain creator or a pain reliever or any kind of combination of those. Okay? So, being said, so you probably know the ideation. We've done brainstorming, or you can do prototyping and ideation, and you can do a lot of different other things. And architecting, remember about function and physical? That was a part of the architecting. And business synthesis, we covered yesterday. But problem definition, I never explicitly talked about this. So let me briefly introduce you to problem definition. But it's very easy. It's basically you reframe a problem or reframe an issue, and you call it your original problem. So problem definition, it can be said that it is more difficult to find an innovative idea or solution for an ordinary problem or question. Okay? For example, how can we improve the automobile gas mileage? This is a boring question. Trust me, I've done it. Yeah, it's a very boring question because, it's boring because a lot of other people are on it, right? I can probably find 10 million people working on this. So to win this race, the 10 million people running ahead of you, that's really tough, right? Unless you're like super good, unless you are you have a very distinguishable talent or so, right? But of course you might, but you have a better chance if you have original but still important problem. So define your problem or question so it is unfamiliar but interesting and also important to people or the world. Okay? And then your race is better, you have a better chance of winning that race. It's almost like you're creating a new race and running by yourself and winning a gold medal. Okay? So, for example, how can we improve the accumulated gas mileage of a person in his car in a time frame of 10 years? So, it seems to be longer, but I'm not just talking about a car, but I'm trying to do accumulated gas mileage over a person over 10 years. So, I gave it a different scope, different perspective to think about. Okay? So this is just one example. So try to find innovative problem space or problem definition that is fascinating and worth investing time to explore. Alright? And this is also called reframing of problem. And you can refer to the, the bootcamp bootleg. Can you go to the bootcamp bootleg and can you find the define mode on the very first page maybe? Yeah, there's a mode called define. Yes. Yes. Oh, it's a green. Yes, it comes in the green. So this is basically telling you the same thing. They reframe the problem, or you find your original problem. Okay. So yeah, please read if you have time today. And here's a great example I love about, and I never checked with people at Keio. And I believe we don't have anybody from Keio, unfortunately. We sometimes really do have some people from the example company. It's really nice. So Keio is a company who does a lot of stationery, and they have their Hari Nuts. This is their product, and it's a staple-free stapler. Okay, so it's basically staple-free. Maybe I can show you a little video, but what it does is it punches a little hole and it bends the paper backwards or several times, and then it kind of acts like a stapler, okay, but with a staple. And so maybe this is my I thought about it. This is my guess, but maybe their question was, or the problem definition was, how might we staple documents without using staples? May sound crazy or stupid, but they really thought about it. So what's really interesting that this company has been making staplers for years, okay? And they've been making it, they had this problem definition like, how can we make it lighter? How can we make it cheaper? How can we make it, smaller, okay? Those are all ordinary questions, right? I guess a lot of competitors are already working on it. So they wanted to go in a different way, but still making sense. And so can you guess what the true value this provided? Anybody? The value this product is providing. It's a stapler without staples. How?
You don't have to use the, I don't know what it called, the staple
Yeah,
thing.
the middle piece.
Yes,
So
the
that middle
so.
piece is more eco-friendly. Could be.
Safety.
Safety? Can you explain?
So when you staple, sometimes the pin can hurt you.
Okay.
So this won't. And even while removing, it can hurt you.
Okay. So maybe it's safer around kids. Okay, sure. So the real value, those may be true, but the real value what this was providing was, so when you have a stapled paper like this, you're not supposed to throw it into a recycle bin, right? Because they're the middle piece. But if it's stapled with this stapler, then you can just dump it into the recycle bin without going through the pain of taking out the staple. So actually, this was a pain reliever for certain offices that is so keen about recycling paper. And this got so popular when we had I forgot, Toyako Summit. What is that? In Hokkaido, we had an international conference in Japan, in Hokkaido, almost 10 years ago. And then Keio introduced their product at this summit. And then at summit, all the documents were stapled in this way. And people from your countries were really amazed, and this sold very well. Yeah, so that was the event. So the thing that I want you to try to focus is that they had this question, new question, to ask themselves, to work on themselves, right? How might we staple documents without using staples? So it's already, the question itself is out of the box, right? In the box is, how can we make it cheaper? How can we make it safer, maybe? How can we make it, I don't know, lighter? Things like this. Or prettier. But they have different questions to begin with. So I know it's very difficult to define a such problem or a question, but you have a good start if you do. So that's you refining, redefining, the reframing the problem. Okay, so this is the Japanese version for that. And so there are some different approaches you can take. So maybe design thinking approach can help you to define a problem. And for example, field work, observation, interview, empathizing people, or prototyping testing. Prototyping and testing can help you to redefine your problem. Because maybe going through that pen exercise for once, now you have different problem setting, right? Maybe some of you have had something like, how can we help people not losing the pen, right? So that could be one, but that's still kind of ordinary. So maybe you can tweak around. You can think about the new problem setting. So design thinking approach can be your help, or system thinking approach can also be your help. So structuralizing and visualizing from multiple viewpoints. For example, drawing a CBCA of existing value chain and discuss, okay, how can we change these value chains? That could be your problem definition. Or the same thing can be done with a causal loop diagram or different diagrams that we talked about. Okay? And so find interesting insight and define problems. So these are for you to find interesting insight, and that will help you to define your problem. So some other approaches that can be your help to redefine your problem. So of course, logical thinking approach, statistical approach, history. You can go back in the history of some kind of product and find some insight, and then you may be able to redefine your problem. Okay? So your domain, any kind of your domain knowledge might work. So find interesting interesting insight and try to define the problem. Okay? So try to find many interesting insight and questions. Okay? Gather those information and organize, and maybe structuralize just a little bit, or visualize to make sense out of it. And then try to put your problem definition into a sentence. Okay? No need to focus on just one sentence. You can work on multiple sentences simultaneously if you want to. Maybe that helps. And you can use how might we format or any other question form. Okay? But put it in a question form. How might we, or what if, whatever. So, okay, when you're defining problem, try to put it in a question form. And choose your favorite problem definition for today's exercise. Okay? So this is all for problem definition. It's very simple. It's simple, but it's hard when you do it. Yes. But it's okay. Today is your first time defining a problem, so it's okay. And you're going to go through some iterations. So I'm going to just skip that. So, you have it in front of you. So this is the basic framework and suggested approaches for today. Okay? And here. You're going to be doing each step in 60 minutes, or roughly. Okay? And that will leave you about an hour and a half at the end of the day today. So that means you go back home early. No, that's not the case. Last 1.5 hours, you go second iteration. Okay? So of course, maybe we can be a little bit more flexible, but I really want you to try to go through all and think about going back, right? Because remember, you went through all the business synthesis, and you were like, oh, I really want to change my idea now, right? You get that feeling, and you know what to change, right? But you don't know what to change unless you're at there, unless you've done that calculation, unless you've done that thinking. So I really want you to go through all and think about going back. Once you're through, then once you're a little bit comfortable with all the process, then your iteration gets faster and faster. Okay, so after my talk, we're gonna decide the teams, and I'll give you about roughly 60 minutes for each step. But I'll let your team do it. Okay, and we'll come and please ask us questions or ask us for help. All right, and that's I think the best way to get used to all the processes. And these are some suggested approaches, not mandatory, nothing to force you to do, but in the problem definition, you can do maybe brainstorming, some more observation. It's up to you, but maybe these two are the basics and easy to do. And ideation, of course, again, brainstorming and some quick prototyping. Of course, we can, we will be opening the downstairs, and we still have a lot of garbage or things, from the other day. So yeah, you have access to that. And architecting, try to think about functional and physical architecture and the architecture of a value chain. So CVCA and functional physical architecture may help you. And in the business synthesis, I'm not going to ask you to do a lot, but try to think about the unit economics. So maybe the unit price, what could be the variable cost and what could be the fixed cost. Maybe just very simple thinking. And try to do the market sizing. Yeah, do you remember Felmy estimate? Yeah. Okay, so go for like $1 trillion business. Yeah, whatever. So this is the basic things, but you can do, if you think you're a little bit more comfortable with other tools, go ahead and do it. Okay, you have all the materials in front of you, so you can try whatever, anything you learned here, and of course whatever you know. Okay, if you're like expert of SWOT analysis and you really want to do it, I don't care. Go ahead. Okay, we're not forcing you to do anything, but try to follow the steps or the milestones. But I'm really open to the methodology you use. Okay, but of course we have been discussing different methodologies, and of course they're useful in any of the process. Okay. Yes.
How to raise our bias of the old projects?
That's a good thing. Well, I chose this theme or the project because you have some bias, and you will be meeting your new team, and everyone comes with different bias, right? So now you need to talk, and you need to understand what bias you've been having, and things like that. So yeah, you need to fight with your bias. Or sometimes it helps, sometimes it haunts you, sometimes it eats you. Yeah. So it really depends how you deal with it. Right. But that's the exact reason why I chose this. Yeah. Instead of you trying to learn new things today, I thought it's going to be interesting. You bring your best idea together and come up with new insights, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Any other question regarding what we're doing today? All right. So about the teams. So usually, how many people do we have in the room today now? Or Victor? I want team of 4. What's that?
20.
20? Good. So we have 5 teams. All right. So stand up. Stand up. Okay. I want team of 4. Team of 4 people. I want 5 teams. Go find your team. I'll give you 10 minutes. Go find your team. Go talk. Go recruit.
You can walk around, guys.
You're walking around?
You don't have to commit to the people you sat with.
Are you like
Yeah, that's 21.
Well, be realistic, you know?
21? Yeah. Someone did you count the rainbow?
Find the right person.
We have like,
Oh, there's 21 people?
21?
Yeah, that's okay.
So
We can have 4 or 5.
Ah, they didn't check.
Okay. Good. We have a team now.
It's 21.
Great.
No. I've never.
Super. All right. You guys all set? Good. So one important thing that you really need to do in the beginning of the discussion, you probably know this. Give your team awesome name. Yes. Give your name. Give your team an identity. So that's important. Okay. So basically today it's you doing your process. You're going through these process, and we'll be around. So this is how you learn from this. You ask questions. Okay. Ask me questions. Ask us questions. Okay. So when you feel you're a little stuck or a little lost, then ask me questions. So that's how you learn. And I will stop by and ask you questions too. Alright? So, okay, I will give you, I don't know, roughly, I'll give you roughly 30 minutes to have a general discussion. Like Maria said, you're full of bias from your past project, right? Successful project. Or, yeah, whatever you call it, right? So, talk about your past experience, which is the prototyping or yesterday's exercise, and maybe you can start, writing down things or drawing things. But after 30 minutes, I'll give you a break, and then we will start this process. I'll start the timer of 60 minutes, okay? And it will, of course, we'll take a lunch break too. So, yes, on the prototyping day, I almost forgot to tell you to eat. So a lot of teams were just working on the prototypes, not eating. So that was, sorry, that's my bad. But today, I'll let you know. So so general discussion for 30 minutes. Please.
You don't need this, right? Yeah, but I think should we?
Prove yourself connected to the job.
ペーパーとかはなんかまだ使うかもしれないから、一応置いてきます。
PA. Victor. Okay. That's good? I have one announcement. We have a new team. I'm letting my troops work on the project too. Yeah, they're supposed to be good, right? We'll see. All right, that was an honest one.
Right.
Oh my god, man.
This is unexpected. That's cool. That one over there?
言ってないですよ。あ、ちょっと保護先生じゃない。ちなみに橋口先生。
タゴさんなんか持ってるからね、ちょっと口角下がったり耳つけたらパンツあ、そうだ。若くなる。おっつぶめ。
これよりももうちょっと。でも先生は2を変えて
それさ、輪郭をじゃない。ブルーテリア。スクラの感じがね、カテゴリーで。変わって見すぎだろそれ。あれ？お尻だけも違う。
I thought this was
犬だけど。種を超えた。でそこにさ、穴が一応感じるよ。最初に。警備屋の方の入るの。アンフロー楽しいじゃん。あれね。黒いから。
ザクッと4等分ぐらいですかね。
うちの母ちゃんは。じゃあ親父かな。陸上のやつ。試せ、そうそうそう、を見ると。高校生の時お前覚えてる。試して今度聞きますね。いや、運動。あ、遠藤。最後。前の先生も知る。これあった前にとか。小型から中型ぐらい。見たことない。顔と鼻のだから高橋由伸のあっちの顔なんだ。ほらほらほら。方角として黒い。どうもどうも。
超面白いですね。
ものすごいデフォルメしたの。
でもたまに親かも。
今日 これバロン誰に
だから ID 結構ね。
一応ほら、こういう野蛮な仕事をしなくても。
飛びたのが大好きだって言ってたから。サントリー。でもこれ。配給。
Folks, I hope you're not using your 30 minutes just to decide your team name. Okay, start your discussion, please. Okay? Pick a team name and start a discussion. That's, yeah. Okay? So don't use 30 minutes for a team name.
That's kind of everybody.
It was just like our local one is his ideas, my problem or someone's problem. That's what. So many students here. So we are like doing the senior lecture. See the articles that like Google and very limited space. So that was kind of the whole idea that we
でもその文脈としては、今日は俺のお前を俺のみたいなのがいいって言えば、
今半年ぐらいhighlight maybe wasどういったものにどういうそういう時は来るんですよ。
でもお父さんの実はなんで茶色だったの？なんでマリアちゃんだったの？なんか言っても
私はなんか辞書じゃないんだからって。
切れそうになって納得しないのかな。
突然いきなり
Guys, here's my when you thought, don't just stop. Because everything just disappeared. Write it down, leave it there. That helps. Guys, here's advice for you. When you discuss like this, don't otherwise you'll lose everything. That's why. No, I never asked you.
Again, the same thing.
It's still higher.
This is our problem, right? So on the basis of this, next time thinking about what can be done. So we don't look at this right now. This is the situation.
Yes, and then when you see it, the one article but also you get the other information. It's actually in case you has a so basically it's like you deal with the actions after like like you can actually looks like actual that kind of helps me I think because newspaper is sometimes like a articles they indicate so it's kind of like more than but Yahoo had it obviously they are 3 states so I don't know how much all exactly planning so that like for me I'm not
一緒にぐるぐる回ったら酔っ払った挙句に意外と締めていったらぐるぐるぐるぐるこう3周ぐらい回ってるんですよ。
One finger and solve the problem.
It's difficult, right?
You are right now. Okay,
大リーグでちょうどこれ見た映像見た衝撃的初登板何でもあるんだよねあの人も大リーグまあベンチもみんな笑ってたよね最終戦だからでもさなんか89マイル143キロオールスターでしない何割 多分出る。そうなんですよ。一回グローブつけてなんか出る。保守が人間がなかったですね。2塁ぐらいのやつでやっててさ、あれつけ始めると一番俺かっこいい。できるのかな。意外とできる。
So it might like thinking how much試合スポーツじゃないと思う。ゴルフと同じ扱い。脳震盪も言えんのかな。脳震盪ってアメリカで NFL すっごいもんね。思ってる以上にすごい後遺症の大問題。大丈夫大丈夫みたいな感じで試合に出ようとしたんで、でも微妙に内面みたいな状態が続いてて、で打撃不振とか余計試合に出ようとしたんで、それですごいもう選手生命がボロボロになっちゃって、でも今はそれをこうThere were some articles about it. Right. I think that's right. Language. One of the ways to write the word. I think that's so it's like that's why you talk about all habits. I both have right to.
I actually kind of do it just because I don't want to change any things like whenever I type or whatever here, like I don't want to change, so I just yeah, but that's so funny though, right? Because I can do like everything in here, but I still choose to use stuff.
Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and I know you're already kind of starting your process. Before we give you a break, I need to know your team names, just for fun, for no good reason. So let's hear from you guys. Who are you?
We are
Team Jazz. Cool. Who are you? 8 wings. Okay. Infinity Mark wings. Okay, good. Who are you guys?
We are F4.
F4?
Yeah, the cool guys.
Well, yes. Okay. Who are you?
5 candies because all of us are eating candies now.
5 candies? That's cute. Okay.
Edgerization.
Edge plus globalization.
Okay. And who are you guys?
Wisconsin Badgers.
That's a bad name. Very bad name. Wisconsin Badgers is a very great rivalry of my school, University of Minnesota Gophers. So you should change your name. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. So let's take a break until 45, and then from 45, please start the process. Of course, you can continue your discussion, but this is basically the milestone that I will try to remind you after 60 minutes. Where are you? Okay, after another 60 minutes, where are you? I'm gonna just keep kind of asking you that. All right, so let's take a break.